one to spread the truth from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The chosen one, though the road is long, just know Allah won't let you lose your way. You are the mercy for mankind. You are the teacher for this life. Allah has blessed you with the Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, our dear audience, to our program, Muhammad the Leader, peace be upon him, alayhi salatu wassalam. Today we'll be talking about an interesting topic. It is about bridging the gap between the beliefs and the deeds. I'm still honored and joined by Dr. Mamdouh, the former professor at Johns Hopkins University. Welcome, Dr. Mamdouh.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome. So, Dr. Mamdouh, as you can see, while I'm speaking about the gap between the beliefs and deeds, I've got a question to start with here. The ultimate goal of humankind is to live in harmony and peace.
Yeah.
How did Prophet Muhammad ﷺ manage this? How did he apply these rules?
Of bridging the gap.
Exactly. In almost all the interactions, I mean, with Muslims and non-Muslims.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I think the Prophet ﷺ was very well equipped with the main source that he used to use in solving all the problems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran made it very clear that it is not acceptable at all that to say something that does not match your belief system. In other words, you say something and you do something different. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Why do you say things that you don't do? To show us the mismatch between the beliefs and the deeds. There's always, it's easier, as the British say, it's easier said than done. So yes, it's very easy to speak for half an hour in front of a microphone, promising people that you are going to do this and this and this. You're going to solve the problem of electricity. You're going to solve this problem.
Actions speak louder than words.
But actions speak louder than words. If you don't do this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here addresses the believers. He is not addressing an average person. He is addressing believers. Yes. So because a lot of people say things and they don't do this. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not like at all. So the Prophet Muhammad in solving these problems, he used to use what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him in the Quran with the people to show them how big their problems are. So in other words, that being well equipped with verses from the Holy Quran, so Prophet Muhammad is supported by revelation. And I advise every leader nowadays, most of our leaders may be avoiding to use the Quran as a source, but the impact of using it is tremendous, is very significant on the hearts of your followers. But sometimes, for political reasons or for many other reasons, the leaders nowadays, they don't want to say that I'm using this verse from the Quran or I'm using this. They as if
they
it
want
is
to
something.
appear it's them. It's them who made these words. Or
And it's always good to get a divine source. This is something divine. This is not human. In other words, it has the ability to solve our problems. I think this was a very good technique from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that he used all the time to remind them that Allah is the one. And to remind them of another thing is that, remember, the reward is great. Remember, the reward is paradise.
Right.
Remember, and anything, is there anything better than paradise? Nothing is. So everybody was focusing on paradise to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that he would or she would get a place in paradise there, which is a very good strategy in solving big problems like this, is to use the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, so now reading into the chapter, Dr. Mamdouh, it says, taking a more philosophical approach, we can see that people's understanding of mission and vision reflects a system of belief.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like you to elaborate on this adding as well a very basic and simple question that I'd like you to answer to our audience. What was the vision of Prophet Muhammad?
Very good. Yes. I think the vision and the mission is in the last 3 decades, these were 2 common words in the area of business.
Right.
And I think they are there. And every Muslim should have the answer for this. What is your vision?
Exactly.
What is the vision of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Do we have a vision different than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides for us? We are so lucky. A lot of people spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of resources in order to shape up the vision for their organization. Muslims are exempt from this because we already have the vision shaped up for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
As I said, that the vision of every Muslim is on the day of judgment. وَابْتَغِي فِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ. Now, let me first define the vision. A lot of people don't know the definition of the vision. The vision is the expectation of something that will happen or may happen at a specific time.
In the future.
In the future. The word time is very important, otherwise it will be a dream. So I would say that some of the companies, they would say that after 50 years from now, this will happen.
That's the vision.
This is the vision. So we are targeting this vision. Our vision is 50-year long-term vision, is when the company will be able to produce 2 million cars. This is our vision. This is our target. In other words, it's an alternative to the word target. Yeah. So this is the vision. And we found that some companies in Japan have a vision after 120 years. And the most important thing is that the people who work in the same place would share this vision. When you go, when some people talked about this company and they visited the company, they met with the people at the front door, and the janitor was the one who spoke to them about the vision of the company. He said that our vision, after 120 years, we will be doing this and this and this and this. And this sharing the vision is very important.
Right.
And this is exactly what is in the Quran. When we recite the Quran, when we know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, that the focus of the Muslims and their vision is there, is on the day of judgment. This helps us now. This is our vision. It's there all the time. It's not after 50 years. It's not after, whenever it happens, the day of judgment, yes, the day of resurrection, this is where we are focusing.
Right. So what was his mission then?
The mission.
Yes.
Yeah, the mission of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is La ilaha illallah, is to carry the meaning of the word La ilaha illallah to everyone, to all the people who are around him. As many people as he can. So this is the mission. Some steps, group of steps that you do, that would help you to reach the vision, to achieve the vision.
I see your point.
So this is the task, a group of tasks that you do. Yes, and that's what we do. Our daily prayers, we do our zakat, we do, and these are steps that would help us reach paradise, because in paradise, this is where our vision is. So this basically was the mission and the vision of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I wish that everybody, every Muslim, when he or she writes their goals and the objectives and in the report or in the annual agenda, in the first page we should rewrite our vision and our mission, which is these 2 things that we related to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it is very important to share this with our children, with our relatives, and to remind them that this is our vision is there. Yes.
Right. So, Dr. Mamdouh, beliefs and deeds, our topic in this episode. How aren't they separable? I mean, we cannot separate them.
Yeah.
So why is that? Like, why can't I separate the belief and the deed?
Because you would be doing things that you don't believe in, or vice versa. You believe in things that you don't do. That would be this mismatch between the two things.
Right.
The two should go together, hand in hand. Otherwise, you will be saying something and doing something different.
Yes. So I believe in something that I'm not doing. Or I'm doing something that I don't believe in.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's why belief should be reflected in some actions, because people around us don't see our beliefs. They see our actions.
Right.
Yeah, they see our actions, and from the actions they make a judgment. And because there is a crack between them, there is a gap between the two of them, we look very bad in front of others. Because we speak about very good ideas and very good principles, yet we don't do them.
Right.
And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates such action. And this falls under the concept of hypocrisy. But the scholars label it as practical hypocrisy. It's not hypocrisy in the belief system. It's hypocrisy in the action, in translating the beliefs into actions.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so Dr. Mamdouh, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I will ask you about our current leaders, the people who work in corporates, the people who work in universities, hospital, banks. Those people might find it hard to make people in their company or their entity believe in the mission and the vision, work towards them. We'll be commenting on this right after the break. Stay with us, our dear audience, after the break, and we'll learn more about the belief in deeds. We'll come back.
Oh, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Go ahead, Ya Shu'aib. Recite from ayah number 16 to 26.
Yeah, okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولقد خلقنا الإنسان ونعلم ما توسوس به نفسه ونحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد.
تلقى المتلقيان عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد.
جاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد ونفخ في الصور ذلك يوم الوعيد وجاءت كل نفس معها سائق وشهيد لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد
Recited every day. Oh, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Welcome back, our dear audience. After the break, we're still talking about the beliefs and the deeds. Dr. Mamdouh, before the break, I was asking you about an issue that is almost challenging and facing our modern leaders nowadays. They find it a little bit hard to make their workers and their employees believe in their mission and work on their mission. What is your advice for them? What are practical steps that they can work on and do so they can feel the improvement towards the mission and the vision of the company?
Okay. A key word here is participating. If you do the mission and the vision only by yourself, it becomes something like that you want to impose on your partners, on the employees and the other people who work with you. Rather, if it stems up and it comes from them, it begins from them, okay? If I'm planning to make a vision for the company, I would ask each employee to write 2 or 3 lines for that. And then I would group them into small groups, many small groups. They would discuss what they have, and they would come up, instead of having 5, they can make it in 1. Right. And then the others. And then we will start talking about what came up from here and here and there and there, and we discuss them. So everybody feels he is part of the vision and the mission. So because he did this, he wrote his job. It's something that's not exported, right? It's something that, or imported. It's something that we already created. We ourselves did this. So you feel you are part of it. You are the one who brought it to others. So anyway, this is what we should do. But regarding the Muslims now, we don't do that. You can do this in organizations, no doubt. You need this for every organization. But for us Muslims, we have something that was given to us as a gift from Almighty Allah. So we will never use something different from this. Perhaps in the mission, right? We would have more than one vision. Yes, one vision that was given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the other one is the one that we created. It should be within the guidelines of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran and the Sunnah. But it is something doable, and people should know that this vision should be revisited, because the speed of technology, the change in technology and the speed of change in the whole world is changing quicker than our expectations 50 years back or 20 years back. So
do you mean that leaders should not just communicate it once? They should frequently communicate
the vision? No, frequently revisiting it. Revisiting, say that we need to reshape and rewrite our vision and mission because of the changes, the quick changes that happened.
And I also think, Dr. Mamdouh, one of the good things that you can do as a leader is that you bring people on a periodical time, like meetings, where you tell them where do we stand away from our vision.
Yes, where are we? That they check it. Are we here? Are we here? Or are we off even? So where are we? Yes, of course. We need to check our position in this vision.
Towards the vision.
Are we going in the right direction? There are many questions that can help us do this. But it is something that's doable, but it is very important for any organization to have the vision and the mission. And more important than this is to share it with everybody. In other words, everyone should know that. And that's why you will find it in almost every room in any organization, because it keeps them thinking of this, and it relates, it tells them that is the work that you are doing fit or puts you here in the vision and the mission of the corporate, or is it something a little bit far and you need to go back to the track. So it's a kind of reminder that, like some people who put some ayat of the Quran in their cars or in their houses as a reminder for them. Or like Muslims, yes, we usually do the adhkar every day in the morning and before we sleep as a reminder for us of our vision and mission, because in the adhkar we mention many of the ayat and many of the hadith that keep us very well focused on our vision and mission.
Right. Okay, so Dr. Mamdouh, part of the chapter here says, raising team members' sense of responsibility is another successful technique in bridging the gap between beliefs and deeds. What did Prophet Muhammad exactly did in this part, alayhi salatu wasalam, in making sure that I'm telling you as companions, as people I meet, that you are responsible with me on this earth, I'm not alone?
This is something very important, even for family members, for a father. For every father, you have to pay attention to the growth of your children. And one of the best helpers for the young children and youth is to give them some sort of responsibility. You are responsible for, you go today to the marketplace and buy this for us. This is what we need.
Okay.
We'll give you the money, you do the negotiation, and you come up. And this you put him in position of a responsible person, you give him the money, and he is responsible to bring this kind of list that you gave him and the menu that you gave him at a specific time. So now you're giving him task in time, you are giving him the responsibility, he's responsible for the money, and you will see how he behaves. And if we can do this with our children, so we are putting this kind of responsibility to them. And the Prophet ﷺ declared it from early days. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Each one of you is a shepherd, is responsible for the sheep behind him, for whatever he is responsible for. The father is responsible for the whole family, including the children and the spouse. The spouse, the wife, is responsible for the children and for the household. And he specified each one is responsible. There is no one in Islam without responsibility unless he is very young one. So this verse, this hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ puts the responsibility of the hand in the hands of people, so everybody feels he is part of the decision and he is responsible. You cannot say that I don't care about that. This is one of the common verses or statements that we hear day and night in some countries.
You must be concerned with it.
You must be concerned. You are concerned. You are responsible. You are responsible for this. Everyone. Kullukum. The Prophet ﷺ said, Kullukum. So putting responsibility in the hands, distributing responsibility. He brought one of the companions, very young companion, and he made him responsible for the whole army. An army that has Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Umar ibn al-Khattab. All those senior companions, they were soldiers in the army. And the Prophet ﷺ himself, he said that, would you please allow me to keep Abu Bakr as-Siddiq with me because I need him? Try to imagine, the guy is responsible from the first day. He was 16 years old. Radiallahu anhu, Usama ibn Zayd. And the same thing he did with all the companions. They have the responsibility, and big responsibility, not just simple responsibility.
Of course. All right, so Dr. Mamdouh, now moving on to the point of incentives.
Yeah.
I know that we touched on this in the chapter. Now, finally here, Muhammad's example teaches the leaders they must provide incentives which will ensure high levels of performance. This definitely happened, but I want you first to define to us, what does Prophet Muhammad here mean by incentives?
Yeah, the word incentive is not materialistic all the time. Incentive can be a good word, a good comment.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah, it can be acknowledgement. So you acknowledge the work that the person does. Without this, you feel that you are ignored, you are doing something that you don't know where it takes you. But all the time, leaders, they should keep an eye on this. Oh, you've done a very good job today. Now, thank you for what you brought, because really it helped me, control my coughing. Even small things is considered incentive. It will make him go outside and say to everybody, today I have been praised and I have been, yes.
So incentive doesn't have to be money?
No, not at all. This is half the way. We have money and spiritual. Money, material and spiritual. We forget about spiritual. People love and I like something that I used to see in the West. Even the incentive, it's not something very huge. You may take something like this pen, yes, in an occasion, which doesn't cost even $1. Yeah. So, but it is something that gets given to you and not the others, because of something special or unique that
recognition
you have done.
for
recognition
efforts.
for the work that you have done. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now getting back to the modern leaders of today. Now we tackled how they should tell people and inform them about the vision and mission. But now, as we are speaking about the beliefs and deeds, some of these leaders ask people to do some deeds they may not believe in, and vice versa. I mean, they may ask them to do things that they are not doing themselves. So in other words, I want to talk about being a role model for people in terms of beliefs and deeds.
Yeah. I would say that I would advise any leader before he shares these things with the employees or with the workers who work with him to understand them very well and to review them. There should be a committee that are
So there must be a preparation phase
preparation for this. From people who would say that, are you sure that you want this as part of the mission of the employee, or this would take us away from the main mission that we mentioned, we agreed on, and it is there. This takes us away from that. So do you want to keep it, or do you want to review it and modify it?
Right.
So this team, that's why the teamwork is very important. The leader cannot do everything.
Without the team,
particularly leaders who don't have revelation come to them. And the revelation now doesn't come to anyone. It stopped with the death of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So now I should have a team with me, or an assistant, or a few people who would review this with me before I share it with the others.
Right.
So it would be in a good shape.
Right. So that's a very good note to end with. Dr. Mamdouh, thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. So we had Dr. Mamdouh with us, where we're discussing in this episode about Muhammad, the leader, the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, I'd like to thank him. We had Dr. Mamdouh Nuruddin, the former professor of Johns Hopkins University in the US. Stay with us in the next episodes. We'll be going deeper to learn more about our beloved Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you're Allah's chosen one.